Google Shopping ads not getting impressions, or you are expecting more impressions for your Google Shopping ads, then this video is for you. I will cover why you're getting low impressions for your Google Shopping ads, what are the possible reasons, where you can look at, and how to resolve it so you can get more impressions for your Google Shopping ads that will lead to more clicks to your Shopify store. Hi, I'm Clarice Lin, the RI doctor who helps small businesses and online stores to double the traffic and sales by getting on Google and YouTube page 1. In today's video, I'm covering Google Shopping ads, and that's one of the ways to get on Google search page 1. That's the top of the search results and on the top of the Google Shopping tab. In particular, one of the questions that I regularly get is, why am I getting so little impressions for my Google Shopping ads? And how can I get more impressions for my Google Shopping ads? What are the areas I can improve on to get more impressions that will lead to more clicks? I want to highlight one of my top tools. If you haven't downloaded it yet, it's my free Shopify Marketing Guide download PDF file that goes into the pros and cons of driving free and paid traffic, so you can decide for yourself how you can drive more traffic and which are the methods that will work best for your Shopify store. So the link is in the description and pinned comment, so do go and download it. Why do you want to run Google Shopping ads in the first place? If you're not quite sure, then I would like to reiterate that for you. Google Shopping ads is the best way to attract shoppers, browsers, potential customers to your store. There are people who are looking for products, researching on a product, and they have a problem, and eventually they will more likely, within the near future, decide to purchase a product. If you are running Google Shopping ads, that's the best way to drive sales for your Shopify store. How to know if your Google Shopping ads are not getting any impressions or if they're getting low impressions? There are two ways to do that. You can either log into your Google Merchant Center account, or you can log into your Google Ads account. On both platforms, you'll be able to see if your Google Shopping ads are getting impressions. I'm going to go into the screen share next to show you both on the Google Merchant Center account and Google Ads account, where you can see all these figures. If you're getting low impressions there, then you know that there is work to do after that. But first, let's head on to the screen share. And on the navigation bar on the left, you can see under Performance, click on Dashboard, and this is what you're going to see. When you're running Google Shopping ads, you'll be able to see what are the impressions and what are the clicks and what's the click-through rate. If you want to see more information, you can click on by products, by brand, by category, or by country. So this is one place where you can see how your Google Shopping ads are showing up on the search results. You log into Google Ads, so select your workspace, select your Google Shopping ad campaign, and on the left hand side you click on products, and you'll be able to see each individual product listed out one by one, and you'll be able to see the impressions that you are getting. So before you're getting the clicks, you'll be getting the impressions, so you can look at those and you can see which products or which items are getting more impressions. How long does it take to see impressions for your Google Shopping ads? Typically, it takes about 3 days. After you've created your Google Shopping campaign, Google needs to review it, approve it on their end, and then it takes a while for your ads to show up. So if you have just created your Google Shopping ads today, or over the last hour or so, and you're expecting to see results, well, you'll be sorely disappointed. So be patient, give it about 3 days or so, and then you can check on it again to see if you're getting any impressions. Even after you're getting the impressions, don't be too disappointed if you're not seeing any clicks yet, because it will take about at least 100 impressions or so for specific products before you can see clicks. Once you're getting impressions, doesn't mean instantly you're going to get clicks and sales. After you are getting the impressions, don't expect instant clicks and instant sales for your Shopify store, because it doesn't happen straight away. After your Google Shopping ads start to run, Google needs to show your ads to the right people. Then once you are getting enough people looking at it, and then you're getting a clicks, and eventually that will turn into sales. So this could take a week or 2 or 3 weeks or so before you start getting those clicks or sales. At the beginning, you're training up your campaign to show the ads to the right people. So most of the budget will be used to train up the algorithm, attract the right people to get those eyeballs, to get those clicks. You have to be prepared to set aside some parts of your budget to train up the algorithm before you start seeing any clicks or sales in the first place. And if you're getting enough clicks to your store, like 100 clicks or 200 clicks or so, and you are still not seeing any sales, nor any add to carts, then you might want to check out my other video where I talk about the top 7 reasons why Google Shopping ads fail, not getting enough sales to the store. You want to check that video out, link on the top right-hand corner of the screen. Check that out and see if your store is facing any of those problems so you can resolve those and start getting the right clicks that turn into sales. Google Shopping ads getting low impressions or no impressions. Reason number 1, your product feed is not optimized. Even after you've successfully set up your Google Merchants account and your Google Ads account and everything is going well, it doesn't mean you automatically get impressions. One of the top reasons why you might be getting low impressions or no impressions in the first place is because your product feed is not optimized, meaning you're not submitting the right information or insufficient information in your product feed that results in Google's algorithm's inability to understand your products and match it to the search queries of the shoppers. And one of the first things you can do to diagnose that is to log into your Google Merchant Center, go to the Diagnostics tab, and look at the item issues. You want to make sure that you have a clean slate, meaning there are no yellow warning signs, no any red warning signs. Red warning signs typically means that your products have been disapproved, and yellow warning signs means that your products is not going to get as many impressions as it can be getting. Because Google wants to show the right products to the right shoppers. That means if you are providing as much information as you can, Google is able to use all this information and better match your product to the right shoppers or potential customer. A couple of most common yellow warning signs errors that could be limiting your visibility is maybe your title is too long, so that needs to be truncated. There is a character limit of 150 characters for your title, so you want to check that if you're getting that error, or if you're getting an error like mismatched pricing or incorrect availability flagged up on your issues, then you also want to resolve that. Typically, that means that if your product is not available and you set it as available, then Google doesn't like that, so it starts flagging up. In this case, then it might limit the availability because there could be an issue of creating mistrust with your potential customers. So Google wants to make sure that all the information that you're putting in your product feed matches what can be seen on your product pages. So you want to make sure that all of those is in alignment. Another common issue is your product image is too small. You want to upload a good product image that is of high quality, meaning that it needs to be like a bigger file. There is a specific criteria what Google is expecting for images. I'm going to put it right here with the correct specs so you can check it out to see if you see one of those issues about having an image that's too small. So you can replace that image with a higher resolution file for Google to update it into their database. So Google is more likely to show that product to more users. If you're creating your own products and you don't have any barcodes, then you also want to make sure you're setting this attribute identifier exists equals to false, and Google will know that there is no identifier, you're the actual original manufacturer, and Google will not flag that up as an issue. Otherwise, you might have a missing identifier issue if you're not submitting barcodes. So if you're having issues with that, you can check out one of my videos right there where I talk about missing identifier, brand MPN issue. Check that video out to resolve that error. And if you are a retailer getting your products from multiple manufacturers, make sure you have the barcodes, because one of the most common warning errors I see is that people are not submitting the GTIN number. So that's very crucial, because if the manufacturer has already set a barcode for their products, you need to also submit that in your Shopify store information as well and submit it to Google. That's because if there is a specific shopper who's looking for a specific product with the brand name as well, then Google can identify that your store is actually selling that particular product with the right barcodes, then Google is more likely to show your product to the shopper who is looking for that specific product. There are many other yellow warning sign issues that you might need to resolve because it might not be the same for every store owner. But what I've mentioned earlier are more of the common issues. If you want me to talk about more of the yellow warning sign issues, you can let me know in the comment section below if you want me to do another video about potential item issues that you're facing and to explain more about it and how you can resolve it. Because you do not have the right keywords in your product title and description. If you're selling a dress, the word dress should be in your product title and you should be mentioned in your product description as well. One of the more common issues I see is that because if you're the actual manufacturer, You might feel that it's very creative and very innovative to describe your product in different ways, but if you're not mentioning the right keywords, what people will be searching for on the Google Shopping itself, then Google is unable to match your product to the right shoppers. If your product is a pair of running shoes, mention the word running shoes in your product title and your description. Don't be overly creative to come up with a new exciting name like what the top Adidas shoes or Nike shoes are using. You have to know, because your store is relatively unknown, people don't know your product name. So if you use a product name that has none of the common keywords that people would put into Google, then it's very unlikely and it's almost impossible for Google to match it to the search query of the shopper. Also, you want to keep in mind, Google Shopping is a keyword-focused campaign as well. So you want to have the right keywords in your product title and description, and ideally in your product URL as well. Reason number 3, your Google product category is incorrect. Google product category is one of the important attributes for Google to match your product type to the right shoppers. So you want to make sure that your product is correctly classified under the right category. Basically, if you don't submit that information yourself in Shopify store, what Google does is based on the title and description, they will try to group or classify your product into a specific category. And worse still, if you don't even have the right keywords in your title and description, this makes it impossible for Google to show it to the right user. Let's say you are selling a product that's meant for your pet, for a dog or a cat, like a sweater for a dog or cat. You don't mention the word dog in your product title, there's no mention of the word dog in your description, and there's no mention of the dog in your product URL. What Google does? Google thinks it's a sweater for humans. In this case, then Google is not able to show your product to the right people or to the people searching for dog products. If you have a specific product for a specific group of people, remember to put that in the right category. Look for the right category. Google has a publicly listed taxonomy of Google product category that you can use. Go into that and select the appropriate product category for your products. If you want to learn more about how to select the right Google product category, you can check out my video right here. Link on the top right hand corner of the screen, where I go into details about selecting the right product category for each of your products. Don't let Google do the job for you and misclassify it. Do it yourself to make sure that your products are getting the right exposure to the right people. Reason number 4. The category that you are selecting is not granular enough. What happens is, most people, if they are selling, for example, if they are selling clothing for people, instead of selecting the top category, which is just clothing, you might want to go into more details. If it's a pair of shorts, if it's a pair of long trousers, or if it's a dress specifically, you want to select the category that is the most granular, that can most closely relate to your products. Don't just select a broad category items, because that does not help Google to show it to the right people. Because, for example, if your category is actually a dress, Google will more likely show your dresses to women shoppers or women browsers or people who are searching for dresses or skirts. However, if you are selecting a broad category like clothing, then Google is unable to show it to the right people. They might even show it to the men, and that would also result in less clicks because nobody's going to look at your dress. Make sure you are selecting the right granular product category for each of your products. Another possible reason why your Google Shopping ads are not getting impressions is because maybe you are targeting too small a group of people. When you're selecting the target location for your Google Shopping ad campaign, you want to maybe target the bigger city names that are within your vicinity if you are targeting local sales, instead of targeting specific village or town that has less people who are online, thus making it difficult for the Google ad algorithm to find more of the right people, to show to the right people, to get the impressions and eventual clicks for your store. You want to expand the target area for your campaign. However, don't add too many countries for each of your Google Shopping ad campaign. Stick to targeting one country per campaign. It helps you to manage the cost per clicks and helps you to better optimize the campaign for a specific group of people in that country. In some cases, there are varying cost per click. So if there is less competition in one country, you might be able to lower the cost per click for that particular campaign in that country. And for the Google Shopping campaign targeting another country, you might need to pay slightly more. If you break up your Google Shopping ad campaign for different countries, it will allow you to yield better results and you have higher control for each of your Google Shopping ad campaigns. Another possible reasons why you're getting low impressions for your Google Shopping ad campaign is your bid is too low. When you're starting up your first Google Shopping ad campaign, you want to aim for a manual cost per click so you can adjust it yourself. You want to take note of what is the market rate or average rate for the Google Shopping ad campaigns for your particular country that you're targeting, as well as the industry that you are targeting your ads in. In this case, you will definitely find it useful. This next screenshot that I'm going to share with you right here is the average cost per click for a Google Shopping ad campaign in your particular industry. Take a look at that when you are deciding your cost per click. If your bid is too low, or if your budget for your Google Shopping ad campaign is too low, then Google is not likely to show your ad to anyone at all. Especially if there's high competition, if many of your competitors are showing ads, that means you have to fork out a higher cost per click for your Google Shopping ad campaign. Ideally, for your Google Shopping ad campaign, you want to start with about USD $20 per click. That gives Google enough budget to train up the ad algorithm and eventually show to the right people so you can get enough impressions that eventually translates to enough click. You have to be mindful that the conversion rate for a Google Shopping campaign is about 1.92%. It means that you have to get about at least 100 clicks to your store for a specific product before you are able to get that first conversion or first customer. There are cases as well if you're selling a wide variety of different products, so they might have different cost per click for each of your different product type. If you're not getting impressions for a specific product type, you might want to adjust your bid and allocate more budget behind it. And this is how you can adjust your bid. I'm going to do a quick screen share over here where you can go into each of your individual products and increase your bidding for each of those products. How to adjust your bidding for your Google Shopping campaigns. First, you log onto Google Ads and then you can click on product groups from the side navigation bar and you will see this page, product groups. From there, you can either choose to adjust the bid for individual items with the pencil mark over there, or you can choose to adjust the bid for all your products at the top. I hope this video gives you some ideas on what to do next if you're getting low impressions for your Google Shopping ads. Many people really struggle with that because the first step to get that first sale for your store is to get enough impressions, then clicks, then sales. If you're not getting enough impressions, you're not getting enough exposure to your products, that means there is lesser chance of you ever getting that sale. And after resolving your low impressions issue and you are getting add to carts but still not getting the sales, then you might want to check out one of my other videos where I explain to you why you are getting the add to carts, but somehow those add to carts are not turning into sales. Link on the top right hand corner of the screen. Do check that video out. And if you also want to explore other ways to drive more traffic to your store, you might want to check out my Shopify marketing guide, link in the description and pinned comments, where I explore the pro and cons of different ways to drive traffic to your store, both free and paid ways, so you can decide for yourselves what works best for your store. And if you need more personalized help to drive more traffic and sales for your Shopify store, you can get in touch by clicking on the link in the description and pinned comment. I work with Shopify store owners to improve their SEO to get higher rankings on Google and YouTube, as well as optimizing the Google Shopping ad campaign so you get the best ROI for your ads. That's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed my video and found it useful, remember to give it a like, subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future videos on how to drive more sales and traffic for your Shopify store. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!